Even though he had disappeared from Hajin's sight, in fact, the man didn't immediately leave. He stood on top of a building and watched the chaos caused by Jin Sayek. He also thought about Hajin and his skill in handling the situation earlier. He was impressed by him. In such a short time, he could analyze Sayek's personality. He even realized that she had issues controlling her magical power when provoked. The man smiled faintly while thinking about it. He felt that this was truly interesting, but, when the man was about to leave, a man suddenly appeared behind him asking where he was going, and when he looked at the man, he immediately knew it was Jane in disguise. Jane wasn't surprised that he recognized her. She then greeted him. "It's been a while, old man." Hearing that, the man felt a bit nostalgic. It had indeed been a while since they last met, but, seeing Jane alone there, he then asked Het. "It seems the kid isn't here." Jane's eyes narrowed upon hearing that. She then said that she would die if she brought her here. She knew the boss couldn't defeat him. She came here just to see how he was doing now, but, Jane then clenched her fist tightly, looking at Jin Sayek unconscious on his shoulder. She said, "It seems you found a new kid." Hearing that, the man smiled softly while looking at Sayek. He confirmed her words. She was his disciple, but for a disciple, she was very special, and very eager to kill him. But, more importantly, the man then looked back at her and exposed her disguise. Jane was shocked by his sudden action. The man said, "Looks like you've got some confidence now, or maybe you've just stopped being a coward." Jane could only pout about it. She then said to him, "Wasn't it you who said those who have someone to protect can't act recklessly? Even if I can't defeat you, I can at least kill that unconscious girl." The man only smiled faintly upon hearing that. He didn't deny it, because it was indeed true. So, he then bid him farewell and said he was glad to meet him again after so long. Jane was stunned to hear that he was about to leave. She then told him something. The new black found by the boss, the wolf hired just to kill him, the demonic wolf, he's here. Hearing that nickname, the man then realized it referred to one of the creatures in Norse mythology, Fenrir, the creature that swallowed the king of the gods. But, if he wanted to reenact that myth, he would have to work hard, because the possibility of it happening surely existed. Hajin didn't know that he was being discussed by Jane and the mysterious man who was Jin Sayek's master. He himself was currently helping the injured Suho by giving him a potion. When Suho received the potion and drank it, Hajin then sat beside him while thinking about what was happening there. The police and heroes detained all the smugglers who caused the chaos in Dizran land. A smuggler caused chaos in Dizran land due to a failed negotiation. Something like that might be published tomorrow. Jin Sayek wasn't caught, and Chai Nyan was safely moved to the hospital. As for Kim Suho, Hajin then asked him if he had drunk the potion. Suho confirmed it and thanked him. He also promised to pay him back later, but Hajin said that wasn't necessary. With a face as if he knew nothing, he then asked Suho if he knew about the woman from earlier. Hearing his question, Suho with an awkward laugh said he only knew a little, but Hajin questioned that. Hearing his disbelief, Suho was silent for a moment as if he was contemplating something, and as if he had made a decision. Suho then called him and was about to tell him the truth, and when Hajin quietly waited for his confession, Suho suddenly changed his mind and told him to forget it. Hajin was stunned by that, but he decided not to dwell on it too much. He didn't know what he wanted to say, but he asked him not to blame himself too much. Hearing that, Suho gave a hollow laugh as if to show him that it was fine. He also said it wasn't that serious, but Hajin, who knew Kim Suho's entire background, certainly wouldn't believe his words. He then ruffled Suho's hair to show his annoyance with him. Suho was shocked by his sudden action, until finally, Hajin stopped after feeling satisfied. With a confused face, Suho then asked him what he was doing, but Hajin didn't answer or explain it to him. He then said goodbye to him. Suho was shocked to hear that. With a still confused face, Suho then looked at Hajin's back as he walked away, but for some reason, Hajin's action earlier improved his mood. Hajin realized that Suho might be lost in his thoughts after seeing Jin Sayek, who came from another world like him. Here, someone who felt loss after losing their home, that kind of loneliness, it was an emotion Hajin was also feeling now. But, Kim Suho didn't even hold the slightest hope that he could return. That's why. It was only natural that he couldn't just sit still and watch Kim Suho suffer like that. Time passed, and the tense incident finally passed. In a room at the top of a building with a view overlooking the entire city, Yona was standing there while recalling Hajin's words to her back then. Hajin said she didn't need to tell him. Yona felt disappointed about it. In the end, she couldn't say it, but, when Yona was muttering about it, Nayeon suddenly appeared behind her and asked what she couldn't say. Yona said it was nothing. Seeing Nayeon back to being energetic, she then asked if her injuries were okay. Nayeon confirmed it. They said the first aid was very good. She felt it was natural since she drank a full dose of potion back then. She also felt she should send a message to Hajin and thank him. But, Yona suddenly sank into her thoughts upon hearing that. Nayeon respected her grandfather. That was something she had known for a long time. But Nayeon's grandfather, Chai Jukil, was a sinner comparable to her father. Even though he probably showed a gentle side to his granddaughter, that would only increase Nayeon's feeling of betrayal. This was what made her hesitate about whether she should tell Nayeon about Kim Hajin's past here, that the person who killed Kim Hajin's parents, erased all traces of his family from his life, and forced him to live in extreme conditions, was the grandfather she greatly respected. Yona truly felt conflicted now, until finally, as if deciding something, she then called Nayeon, who was currently sending a message to Hajin. Nayeon could only feel confused by her call and the serious expression on her face. But, Yona suddenly fell silent as if hesitating, and Nayeon could only stay silent while waiting for the words to come out of her mouth. But, Yona suddenly patted her shoulder and only said, "Good luck." Nayeon was stunned by that. She truly felt confused by her. Yona explained, "Good luck with your message. You always hesitate a lot when you're about to send it to Hajin." Nayeon blushed at her teasing, but Yona suddenly showed a sad expression. But Nayeon, standing behind her, couldn't see it. Yona told her to listen to her so she wouldn't regret it in the future. After saying that, Yona then walked away from there with a face almost in tears. Time passed. When the sun was high in the sky, at Hajin's dorm, Hajin had just returned after buying Evangel a box of fried chicken. After taking 2 pieces of fried chicken from the box, Evangel then gave one to Whitey. Whitey looked very happy about it. Hajin couldn't hold back a smile seeing their bond. They used to always fight. He was relieved because Evangel seemed to finally learn to share. After watching them for a while, Hajin then turned his attention back to the system. Thanks to last night's incident, he gained quite a lot of SP. Seeing that amount, Hajin felt it was time to create another setting he wanted, and when Hajin was confused about what setting to create, he then remembered that he had thought about this before. He then told Evangel that he was going to work on something and asked her to sit and eat quietly. Hearing that, Evangel replied that she understood. Hajin then went to the place where he usually kept things and searched for some files there, until finally, he found it. It was a file containing an idea for a setting he wanted to create. Doping setting. When consuming drugs, this setting would make his body remember some of the potion's effects depending on the luck stat. He wrote this idea because he felt he would use a lot of doping in the future, the ability to either remember a drug's effect or recreate it in his body. Besides that, he also wanted that when he used doping, the effect would be stronger and last longer. After having the idea, Hajin then immediately wrote down the setting he wanted to create, but he was then shocked because the setting would cost 1000 SP, although he felt a bit bitter about it. Hajin had somewhat expected that a permanent stat boost would be expensive. Even so, he felt it was worth the price. So, he then confirmed it, and the system then saved the setting he created. During the setting creation process, his luck stat was triggered, and the drug remembering body constitution effect increased overall. The setting had 3 effects. The first was memorize. When consuming drugs with the same effect and properties, the body would remember some of the effect, depending on the luck stat. The second effect was recreate. Drugs that had been memorized could be automatically recreated and released in the body, depending on the luck stat. The last effect was adapt strengthen, strengthening the drug's effect as it was recreated and consumed more, depending on the luck stat. Hajin felt satisfied reading those effects. He then decided to try it immediately and swallowed the ginseng elixir given by Yona. Right after swallowing the elixir, a system notification appeared. Drug consumption slowly increases strength, stamina, vitality, and magical power. Your body remembers 4% stat increase from wild ginseng. Reading that number, Hajin thought, so if I drink about 25 of them, my body will produce free elixirs. He felt it wasn't bad, but, shortly after, he suddenly felt an intense pain. The pain came so suddenly that Hajin wasn't prepared and fell from his chair. He was truly shocked by it. He then looked at the stigma mark on his wrist. The stigma mark looked like it was being triggered. He had indeed suspected this, but what he didn't expect was the intensity of the pain. While Hajin was enduring the pain surging from within his body, Evangel, hearing the commotion, then asked him what that sound was. Hearing that, Hajin then answered that it was nothing, he just dropped something. Hearing that, Evangel said she understood. She then took Whitey to leave and warned her not to disturb Hajin. Hajin felt relieved about it, but the pain hadn't stopped yet. He endured the pain silently. He realized he couldn't scream, because Evangel was in the living room. Screaming would only make her worry, so he decided to endure it no matter what.